to love. Never came this close but for one.
So knowing that you have learned to love yourself and have self-love for you, what did you unlearn about self-love or about love?
This may be simple, but I'm still learning this right now, but it's something that I definitely is number one on my list for things that you should unlearn about love is sometimes saying no and creating boundaries for yourself does not mean you don't love someone. It means you love yourself enough to do it, to be honest with yourself and not do things that are against you. Unlearning things, because for so long I always felt bad about saying no or disappointing anybody or letting anybody down or just any of that stuff because I felt like they would feel less about my love for them. And now I'm like, if you love me, you understand why this no is coming. If you love me, you understand why I feel this way or that way. Like it's pretty much just about everything doesn't have to be perfect for the other person. Sometimes love it includes you too.
That's good, because I also learned that in self-love, everybody's not gonna love you. Not everybody's gonna love you. Some people just tolerate you. They don't love you. And then you learn with self-love, you have to be okay with that. You don't have a whole mental breakdown because you ever been in a relationship and you say, do you love me? And the person say no. Usually, you have a whole mental breakdown. That thing destroy you.
It's that's that weight. You're like,
and you done poured your love in them, but in reality, it's okay for them not love. At least they was honest. So what I unlearned, I had to learn that because that was destroying me. That everybody was supposed to love me and like me, even family.
So you're saying it's okay, you unlearn that it's okay not to be loved by people.
Everybody. And not to fit in, not to be part of them. It's okay.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
It's all right, boo.
And that's what I'm on.
It's all right, boo. Do you?
Yeah, exactly. I can go somewhere else.
I can go somewhere else where you appreciate it. And in love, I learned that not everybody is going to appreciate your love.
Really? So with this whole conversation of love, we know in the Black community, I guess that conversation, that topic, isn't really touched on a lot with us as far as like familial and talking to family about it. And that's just not something that we have ingrained in a lot of families. So why do you feel like in the Black community specifically that these types of conversations aren't normal?
I think this is a generational thing that comes down the line. Mama, daddy worked all the time. The ones who had mama and dad in the house, they worked all the time. Mama did the work. I believe she said, I love you here and there. But I think it's something that they didn't teach us. It's like in the Black community, they didn't teach us about financial health. It's something, and so when we mess up and we jack it up, then that's when somebody has something to say. And the same thing with love. And also because we have been oppressed for so long that we don't know love. Because our love, we thought it looked like what somebody else told us it was supposed to be. In slavery, it was our masters telling us how to love, remember? And now as we go down through life, even today, we still don't know what love is. Being a teacher, I tell my kids I love them all the time. And I tell them, you know what, I want to make sure you know I love you. Why? Because how many kids don't get to hear I love you? Huh? The parents assume, and that's a whole different can of worms, that we assume that people understand and they get it. Because I cook for you, I put the lights on, I buy your clothes, I love you. Not necessarily.
Right.
Not necessarily. That's not love.
Right.
That's something that by law you have to do for your kids. Yeah. But love is just let me hold you. Let me sit and listen to you. How many parents really just sit and listen to their kid instead of dictating to them? So I learned in this season that I have to start listening. And so my students and the kids and y'all, I actually take time out to listen, and you'll find out more. But they don't teach you that. It's do what I say. You were little. Why? Because I said so. Just do it. Yeah. It was never, let me explain to you why. Yeah. And it comes from mom and them. They did the same thing. And then their parents did the same thing, and that becomes a generational curse that came down the line, and then we have a whole lineage of people who don't know how to love.
I think that was powerful what you said about the master thing in our community, having like when we were slavery and master, because I feel like you say, that was a basis of teaching us love, and there was no compassion in that. In our community, we tend to make it it's regular for us to show love that isn't compassionate. It's very much so. 'Cause we tend to make love something that isn't compassionate in our community because we don't tie it into that. And I think that was a very powerful thing. And I also want to piggyback on when you say you told people you love. And that's something that I picked up from you now in my days now. Like, I'm more willing to tell friends and people around me, like, no, I love you. I love you. And I know, like, I have many friends now today, like when I first became friends with them years ago, me telling them I love them, it was like, why are you, that's like, what? But now, a lot of friends, I'll get off the phone with them and they're like, I love you. But I love you too, because there's no, like, that should be a common practice. It should be common practice just to tell people you love them. There's no, you never know. You never know what somebody's going through, what their last time is. You don't know. So it's like you say, I think that's just a part of breaking down that barrier. And you showed me that by just being vocal about saying you love you freely. Because you used to say it all the time, you'd be like, why is she telling me she loved me again? Like, she already told me. Like, so, but that helped me see, like, sometimes it's not even about just doing it in a orderly or fashion or in a way of like a response or, like a, what is it called? Like a political or corporate way where, I love you. Like, you only say it in those moments. But sometimes you just need to say it and just let it be, because that's what compassion is and that's what love is and that's what, that's just genuinely what it is. And I think it's important.
Most people take love in today's time and make it monetary gain. It's all about the money, but love surpasses money. Love is kind. You want to really open up the heart. You're supposed to have love in there. Yeah. And we're supposed to love each other. We need to love each other. In a world full of hate, full of malice, full of strife, we need to love each other. And it doesn't hurt to tell somebody you love, even your enemies.
It doesn't.
I broke down a lady one time to tell her how I love her. She couldn't stand me. By the end, she loved me. Right. Because I loved her. Despite of how she felt about me, I loved her.
And that's powerful.
And that's what we have to do. I believe if we show more love, the right love, because we got the wrong love, but we show the right love, agape love, I promise you, we will be able to be a whole different world, a whole different place.
Someone who can handle all this baggage when I can't carry it. I ain't been in love in a long time. I ain't gonna love again.
To finalize, I want to say thank you for being an example of love for me. Like, just in general, with anything in life. Like I say, like, being willing to tell people you love them freely. That's very important to me, because that's something we talked about love languages a long time ago. That's one of my love languages now. Like, words of affirmation, hearing someone tell you they love you all the time, because that reassures me that people love me. And also, not even just love, I want to thank you for it. Even just the fact that I'm here now is because you've done so many things in your life and you've never given up on them. Even when other people have put adversity against you, other people didn't believe in you, you believed in yourself. You've done so many things, countless things. You're still going and still accomplishing new things and finding new notches and new heights to reach. And I think I want to thank you for that, because that showed me self-love in itself. Like, seeing you push through so many things, and we know all the things that you've gone through and all the people and the naysayers and what they say, but at the end of the day, you still push through. Even if it was a fight, even there was tears involved, you still kept walking. I want to say thank you for that, because it's something now that I carry with me. So thank you. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry, but thank you. But thank you.
I'm a bucket of water lately, so man, I want to thank you. And I tell you, I think I texted you a couple of times and I said, you are my motivational force. When I go through a hard time, people don't know it, but you know, because I'm texting you. When I go through something that's breaking my heart, I'll text you and say, this is what's going on, Cedric. And thank you for being my son. It's a blessing. We ain't always seen eye to eye. But you've always been there to the capacity of a son can be. And I am blessed. And I just want to say this, because life is too short. And you have to give people their flowers before they die. What's the sense of putting them on a casket? They won't never see them. Right. But I want to let you know that you have been a great example of a man. You're a wonderful son. Me and Sean brag about you. I think the rest of them are tired of hearing about it. You are the comparison.
Oh, God.
But I love you. I love you with all my heart. You are my eldest son, my eldest child. I grew up with you. I mean,
you were 19.
Yeah, but I still was a child. I had a child mentality.
No, 19 is a child.
Yeah, I grew up with you. You was like, not only were you my son, but you were my best friend. I would talk to you when you couldn't even talk. That's how you got the nickname Funk from Mama. And to watch you grow, I was sitting back thinking, and I was listening. I was home and listening to the video. I was at, and I said, Noah, you hear Uncle said? And he was like, that's Uncle Sad. I was like, yeah. And then he think he can sing better than you. So I'm just like, you know, he said he's gonna.
I ain't gonna hold him.
But I want him to be, if he can be half the man that you grew up being, with a man with integrity, a man with high self-esteem, a man who set goals and try to knock them down. I'm very proud of you. And as your mama, I love seeing. I keep forgetting you're a grown man. I'm like, that's my baby. But I love you. I love you.
Give me a break this family.